The eyes of the world were fixed on one moment that was supposed to be a celebration, but turned into an emotional storm. Who is BTS's Shin Se-kyung? Why did his presence at Jin's first live performance actually ignite the ARMY's anger? Is HYBE hiding something behind the camera's glare and forced smile? The night sky seemed peaceful. The moonlight refracting between the skyscrapers like dancing welcomes the long-awaited return of a star. BTS's Jin is finally performing for the first time after his enlistment, and there's nothing more emotional than watching the worldwide handsome stand back on the stage he left with tears of farewell. But who would have thought this moment actually opened up new wounds for some fans? A presence, one uninvited figure, changes everything. When the audience's camera accidentally highlighted the VIP row seats and a beautiful woman with dark hair and a soft smile appeared on the big screen that was replayed in several fan-based media, ARMY was shocked. The figure is none other than Shin Se-kyung, a South Korean actress who has been known to the public through her elegant and calm role. But that night, her presence brought thousands of questions and one big emotional outburst. Why was she there? Was this merely a professional invitation, or was there something more personal behind the glare of Jin's eyes that suddenly changed as his gaze swept toward the VIP seats? Is all this related to the Don't Say You Love Me video clip project that is being talked about because of the strong chemistry between the two? Loud applause from thousands of spectators could not disguise the rumors behind the scenes. Even before the concert was over, ARMY had started streaming footage of a video showing Shin Se-kyung smiling as Jin performed an emotional ballad that Jin claimed was the closest song to her heart. What does all this mean? Was the song created for him? After that, things went awry. On social media, the hashtags #ProtectJin and #NotWithHer topped the global trending topics in just minutes. Thousands of disappointed, hurt, and angry comments flooded HYBE's post. Many feel betrayed, feeling that fans' feelings are like being underestimated. In fact, there are those who begin to dismantle the old interaction between Jin and Shin Se-kyung that has been considered normal. Now, everything is reviewed. The most surprising thing is not only the presence of Shin Se-kyung, but how did HYBE respond? Instead of providing a transparent clarification, the agency only released a brief statement that the actress's presence was a professional invitation related to a musical project. But is it really so? If it was just a professional affair, why was he sitting in the VIP area instead of the usual guest area with the other production managers? And why did the camera seem to avoid his seat during the entire concert except for one fan recording that went viral? These questions made the ARMY even more uneasy. Not only do they question Shin Se-kyung's presence, but they also question Jin's heart and HYBE's intentions. Was all this planned? Is HYBE deliberately using romance rumors to draw attention to Jin's comeback for promotional gain? Is Jin really aware that this move will hurt the feelings of millions of his fans? What makes the situation even more complicated is the emergence of a leaked screenplay for the video clip Don't Say You Love Me, which states that Jin and Shin Se-kyung will play lovers in a cinematic narrative full of emotional scenes. A source from inside the production even mentioned that in one of the scenes, Jin would shed tears while separating from the character played by Shin Se-kyung, a scene that is now rumored to strongly reflect something more than just acting. Their gazes are too real, wrote one fan who claimed to have witnessed the filming process by accident. Jin is not a professional actor, but his expression when he looked at Shin Se-kyung, it was like holding back something real. It feels like it's not just the script that's being played. Is this all just a coincidence? Or is HYBE, with all her might, playing on the emotions of the public for the sake of achieving maximum hype? The fans feel that this is not just another visual project. They feel like they're being dragged into a reality that is packed like a drama, but bumps into the emotional boundary between idols and fans. Many asked, did Jin not think about how the ARMY felt? Is it true that there has been something hidden between her and Shin Se-kyung? HYBE tried to calm the wave of emotions by uploading a behind-the-scenes photo of Jin joking with a production crew, as if to show that the shooting atmosphere was relaxed and professional. But again, the fans couldn't take it. They instead highlighted one of the video cuts that showed Jin gently touching Shin Se-kyung's shoulder when the camera stopped recording. "That's not acting," wrote one of the comments that has been shared more than 50,000 times. "Did I ask Jin in love? Is this all the way he is slowly introducing someone special to the world? Or is he stuck in a promotion scenario he can't escape? This moment should be the moment when the return of the Jin is celebrated with joy. But instead, the stage is now overshadowed by the disappointment and emotional wounds of thousands of hearts that once believed so much. They love Jin, not only as a star, but as someone who keeps a professional distance from anyone who might threaten his special relationship with the army. Now the relationship is broken. Many fans feel their relationship is being tested. Some even began to delete photos of the genie from their personal accounts. Even more painfully, some fans began voicing that they would stop supporting Jin if HYBE continued to impose amorous narratives in her works. The question now is, will the genie speak? Will he explain what's really going on behind the scenes? Or just let everything float in uncertainty, letting thousands of hearts continue to wonder and compose the answers themselves? Even more stifling are the rumors that Jin and Shin Se-kyung have been in communication since before the army, and this video clip project is the culmination of an artistic connection that grew into a personal one. This rumor, although unconfirmed, has left many of the army feeling pierced, as if all their moments together so far were just an illusion. In other words, Jin is still human. He has the right to love. He has the right to be close to anyone. But when the presence of another person scratches the collective emotions of millions of fans who have been his strong wall, the questions to be answered are not just about love, but about trust. Is this the price of too real cinema? Can love and art go hand in hand without hurting those who stand backstage, fans who have given everything unconditionally? Or is this the end of a relationship that was never truly balanced from the beginning? When the stage was quiet and the spotlight slowly dimmed, what remained were not only the memories of Jin's first concert after enlistment, but also the traces of wounds left in the hearts of many fans. Some are still silent. Some were crying in silence. But there are also angry, very angry, not because of hate, but because of love that feels unappreciated. That night, many of the army sat for a long time in their seats after the concert ended, as if refusing to believe that everything had changed just because of one presence. "Why should he?" whispered a fan with wet eyes in the crowd. "Why did Jin let him come on a night that was supposed to be just for us?" A question that resonates 1,000 times in different hearts. Those who had been standing as Jin's shields now felt penetrated by arrows from unexpected directions. That feeling hurt, disappointed, confused, flowed with the thousands of tweets and social media posts that made up the wave of digital outrage, and as HYBE tries to dampen it with standard phrases like, "We ask fans not to spread unfounded assumptions," even more questions arise. If there is nothing, why avoid? Why not just admit that Shin Se-kyung is Jin's close friend? Or more than that, in the Korean entertainment world, romantic relationships between idols and other celebrities have always been a sensitive topic. But this time it's different. It's not just a matter of who is loved by Jin, but a matter of how fans feel treated in the process. Some senior fans even refer to this as the biggest emotional scandal since Jin's debut. They've never seen a genie this complex, so expressive, so honestly, or on the contrary, is playing the biggest role in his life. Another video circulating in the Japanese fan community showed the interaction that took place behind the stage after the concert was over. In the video, Shin Se-kyung is seen approaching Jin with a drink of water. They laughed. Jin touched his wrist gently, as if to say, "Thank you." Small gesture, but so big meaning in the eyes of the army. "Look at his eyes," one fan wrote. It wasn't a coworker's gaze. That's like someone who's been waiting a long time. Is it possible that they have been in a relationship secretly all this time? Was all this designed in the first place by HYBE to introduce a new partner in the stressful world of Korean celebrities? Or is it a feeling that no one can control? An anonymous source from internal HYBE began to open votes in one of the secret forums. He revealed that the concept of the Don't Say You Love Me video clip was actually Jin's own idea. He wanted to create a different kind of video, not just a musical performance, but an emotional cinematic narrative that reflects the journey of the heart of a person who has lost love. At first, they wanted to recruit young actresses from outside agencies, the source said. But Jin proposed Shin Se-kyung's name. He said he could bring elegant shades of Matu. But the night wasn't really over. Behind the thick curtains covering the backstage, a major decision was brewing in panic. Several HYBE staff were seen pacing back and forth with tense faces. Mobile phones kept clinging to their ears, and the occasional whispering sound was heard breaking the silence. Jin is being locked up in his silence. No one knows for sure if he is crying, thinking, or sorry. But one thing is certain. This storm can no longer be avoided. A few hours after the concert, the hashtags #ProtectJin and #Shin Se-kyung out from BTS were trending globally. But even more surprising is the emergence of a new hashtag, #WeDeserveTheTruth, which unites armies from different countries with one voice. They don't want to judge, but they also cannot forgive too long silence, and like gasoline on a fire, a video of footage from Don't Say You Love Me suddenly leaked in the online community. In the clip, Jin and Shin Se-kyung are seen sitting on the roof of an old building, talking to each other in smiles that are too real to be called acting. The genie's last sentence before the screen fades makes anyone's heart flutter. If this is the last time we can be together, then I want the world to know. I never regret choosing you. That sentence, as if it weren't for the character in the video. But from Jin to Shin Se-kyung, and also for the army. The reaction immediately broke out. What does it mean to choose? Aren't we always his choice? Wrote a fan. Jin said we're family, then why now is he talking like we're outsiders? Another comment that got thousands of likes, HYBE did not remain silent. They held an official statement the next morning at 10 o'clock Korea Standard Time. In the press release, they mentioned that Jin and Shin Se-kyung only collaborated professionally for cinematic visual needs, and there was no personal relationship between the two. But the statement came too late. Too late, ARMY no longer believes words without evidence. Shin Se-kyung has been seen with Jin twice outside of filming projects, one of them at a small art gallery in Gangnam that Jin also visited a week before the concert. And one more fact that makes everything even more unforgivable. Shin Se-kyung apparently once called Jin the most impressive guy in one of the interviews 3 years ago. The interview, which was then taken for granted, now fuels speculation that the feeling has long been growing, but hidden. A number of fans began to hold a symbolic action in front of HYBE's office. They unfurled banners that read, "Not because he loves, but because he forgets we love him too." The following night, Jin appeared for the first time since the concert. Not in a live broadcast, not in a press conference, but in a handwritten letter posted on Weverse. The writing is neat, but in every line there is a vibration that is difficult to explain. I know it wasn't the night you imagined. I know I hurt a lot of hearts. But trust me, I never intended to hide you. I just want to take care of her, like I've always taken care of you. But if keeping her makes you feel abandoned, then let me take care of this. You will always be my home. And home, I could never hate. Instantly, the timeline changes. From anger into stifling silence. Because there is no definitive answer in the letter. Did he confess? Or just trying to calm down? Who is the one that Jin is looking after? At the same time, Shin Se-kyung suddenly uploads a Polaroid photo from behind the scenes of the video clip, a picture of herself and Jin laughing with the caption, "We choose stories that cannot be told." A sentence that seems to answer all conjectures. It also opens up more wounds. The ARMY's reaction was divided. Some decided to leave the fandom with a heavy heart. She cried and said, "If he's happy, I'm happy too." But why does it feel like a prick? Several large fan bases issued a joint statement, deciding to boycott the Don't Say You Love Me video clip project until Jin or HYBE provide more transparent clarification. They can no longer allow love to turn into an unfair emotional game. But as if not wanting to be silent, HYBE announced a surprise in 48 hours. They will release an extended version of the video clip, complete with the original ending that has been hidden. An ending that, according to them, will give new meaning